Hello and welcome to another episode of the In Between Podcast. Let's go ahead and get this thing started. Hello and welcome to another episode of the In Between Podcast with your host as always, Kyle McLemore. And before we get too far along in the pod, make sure you hit the old like and subscribe button as it's much appreciated and it helps keep the show alive. There's not a whole lot here keeping us going other than your support, so it's much appreciated. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you so much for tuning in for another episode. That's right, we're back in studio again, trying something a little different with this new camera here. Trying to get the most production value, give you something a little bit more visually stimulating if you're watching on YouTube. If you're listening, then things are probably exactly the same. No way to change the angle on my voice, unless I wonder if I do things like... There's some 3D action for your earphones if you're listening on Spotify or iHeartRadio, whatever, wherever you get your podcast, except Apple Music. That's the only one that I haven't gotten yet because I do not have an Apple account. And I think when I tried to make it, it was just like, nah, you know what? Apple was like, you know what? We're good. We're kind of full at the moment. Take your business elsewhere. Thanks, but no thanks. But thank you for tuning in for the 100th time. Thank you. Is this the first attempt at the episode? No, of course not. Had it done yesterday. Is there a better feeling than sitting here for like an hour knocking out a pod and then to add to it feeling like, hey, that was like a pretty good one? And then get on to start the editing process, and boy, oh boy, was that audio trash. I'm talking big gaps of missing audio, and then it's just like laggy all the way through. And you want to talk about a task that is more tedious than anything, and that's like slicing the audio every 5 seconds to keep expanding it with the video. Oh yeah, we're talking technical stuff on this episode, but yeah, so not only is it the multiple attempt, but see if we can make this one a little better than the last. We're also trying some new hardware. Up until now, I've been using my very old, very bulky, very outdated hunk of shit of a laptop because it's basically good for absolutely nothing. It is so laggy. It is so just lag central that I can basically only use it just for like recording audio. And up until now, it's been okay. Like up until now, every once in a while, I'll get like a little bit of a lag stream and have to chop it and expand it. But for the most part, it's like okay, other than just, me losing my mind anytime I go to start it up. And it's just like pause for like 15 minutes and then it's like, okay, now we're going. And it's just like, oh man, everything is so laggy. And being a 2023 human being, like if it's not working instantly, it's just like, what is going on? So, after the debacle that was yesterday's pod, busted out the new updated, well, it's not new anymore, but the newer laptop that I don't use for recording audio because I like to have a second monitor for looking up stuff, playing clips, playing videos, but if it's going to solve the laggy audio, then just might have to stay with this one. But I have memories of trying that one before and having like the same kind of laggy issues. I don't know if it's the settings I have it on. Is this good? Is this good podcasting? Listening to all the technical stuff in the process here, but it's good to vent it out. Also good to get another crack at the pod. You could sit there, get all frustrated, get all angry. That's straight from that Jocko video. You know what I thought when I recorded a whole episode and then I realized it was all trash? I thought, good, can make it better. Have you seen that good video from Jocko? It's so old. It's an old one, and it's a good one, and it's like probably the most testosterone fueled motivational clip, manliest turned up to 11-meter video I have ever seen in my life, and it is always good to watch it every once in a while to just be like, oh yeah, this stuff's messed up. Hey, good. We can do it better. More time to make it better. Another chance to do it again, even better. Good. So trying to embrace the inner Jocko. Good. I got another chance. With a new camera, so up in the ante, up in the production value, up in the entertainment value. So let's kick it off. Thank you so much for tuning in. What is this, number 65, halfway to 70, which pushes us even closer and closer to that 100. It's going to be amazing if we can hit 100. It's actually kind of impressive to think that we've come so far so many times, so close to throwing in that towel, but then grabbing it at the last moment, being like, nah, let's do one more episode. But what do you guys want to talk about? There's lots of stuff out there in the news, lots of stuff that I haven't tapped on yet, and it's one of those things where it's like, it's really irritating when I do an episode and then the next day something big pops off and it's like, oh, dude, where was that the day before? I could have talked about it on the pod. Gotta wait like a whole week. And then when I do finally talk about it, it's like old news. But let's bring it up anyway because it was big for a second. And it's so crazy that we gotta talk about it, dude. Will Smith and Jada Pinkett, it just does not ever stop, dude. The drama continues. The saga that is what the fuck, dude. The saga of the fuck. Dude, I want a full drama series. I want a whole season that is like the dramatic version of just that night at the Oscars, dude. I want a whole dramatic Lifetime series about like the day before, the ride there, walking the red carpet, and then and then one of the episodes is the slap, and then the ride home, and then I want all the behind the scenes because the story just keeps getting even crazier. Once you think it's done, they pull you back in. So I'm sure we're all aware of the slappening, right? The slap heard round the world, which in and of itself is the most baffling, unbelievable, jaw-dropping, like, what is happening moment. I vividly remember watching it and being like, oh, it's a bit. Oh, this is like a weird skit, comedy bit kind of thing. And then it cuts to the audience just being like, and then Chris Rock's reaction of just like, crazy, and then the dude goes on like 5 minutes after assaulting Chris Rock and gives this crazy speech about like, you gotta take abuse in this business, you gotta take people talking crazy about you, and it's like, hey man, you just slapped a dude for making a rather tame joke about your wife. And then bombshell, turns out they're not even together, dude. The last like 7 years. 7 years, they're just like keeping up appearances in the public, evidently, dude. Apparently they've been not together like for almost a decade. So then it's like, hey man, what are you slapping people for? Not only what are you slapping, but what are you getting up on stage at the Oscars and slapping people for? for making a joke about your appearance's wife, who, by all accounts, is just like awful, dude. Now, albeit that she is insanely attractive, even with no hair, she's pretty attractive, but also clearly out of her mind. And then also, can someone tell me, like, what has Jada Pinkett done to make her like the influential person that she is now? Because when I think of like her career in acting or whatever, and this could be just me, but why does my mind only ever go to just like the second Matrix? Like, that's the only thing I ever think of her in, is just Matrix number 2 for like a little bit. Like, she's not even like a main, like she's just like on the side, like, yeah, screw those robots. And she's also just like completely monotone the whole movie, just like, yeah, Morpheus, guess what? I love you. Oh no, the robots are coming. Let's go do some stuff. That's all I remember her. Even when she's in like the Matrix with like her crazy leather outfit, she's still just like, dang, I'm in the Matrix. This is crazy. She's not good. And then, you know what? The only other thing that comes to mind is her dying in Scream 2. What's up with her in the 2s? Matrix 2, Scream 2. Yeah, her getting in the movie theater, which, you know, what's even funnier is I don't even think about Jada Pinkett when I think about that. I think about the Scary Movie version, the comedy version, where she's like, they're like, shh, and she's like, I got you on candid camera. That's like the best part of that movie, is making fun of Jada, not actually Jada. Yeah, it's just, I don't know, I don't understand how, and then also to be wrecking a dude like Will Smith, who should be like soaring in the stratosphere, dude. And all you ever hear about is like her just like being like, dang, dude, Tupac was basically my soulmate. And it's just like, what about the dude you're with? That's why I need the whole drama series behind the scenes, dude. Oh, dude, do you think that like maybe his son will play like himself in the docuseries of the future? I need the behind-the-scenes drama series, dude. That would be an amazing limited series of the behind-the-scenes of that whole Oscar thing. Crazy. I don't understand the slappening, but it's already like over and done now anyway. Until next, I saw a thing from The Onion that almost made me like explode out of my skin. I'm just scrolling through Reddit and I see an article that's like, Jada Pinkett proposes to Chris Rock, and I almost exploded, like, whoa. And then I see like The Onion. I'm like, oh man, got me, dude. Onion nailing it. But yeah, we can move on to more modern topics, like what's going on in the cinema. Have you guys seen Killers of the Flower Moon yet? Have you seen the longest movie ever made yet? Dude, not even Good, Bad, and the Ugly is that long, dude. And that's like the longest movie that I can think of off the top of my head. What's another long one? Return of the King, Ultimate Director's Cut of Lord of the Rings, with every bonus scene, every extended scene, every deleted scene, is still not even touching Killers of the Flower Moon, dude. Killers of the Flower Moon, director's cut, 12 hours. You gotta have like an IV injected into you to sustain the entire movie. That was honestly like, dude, I needed like a nurse at the end of the movie. I was in the recliner seats. Dude, by the end of Killers of the Flower Moon, I needed a nurse there to like roll me over, like make sure that I wasn't getting bed sores on my arms and legs. Like, oh my God, his body's atrophied for so long watching this movie. No intermission. Oh, and I was prepared. I was not drinking any liquids hours before. Went to the bathroom before I left. Went to the bathroom when I got there. Squeezed out every bit of moisture I could. I went and sat in a sauna for like 3 hours and really pruned out. Dude, I was a raisin when I was in that theater. I was a straight up... I looked like the old lady from the Titanic, dude, when I was watching that movie with my popcorn. But yeah, I went into that thing dry as a bone because I didn't want to miss a moment. I didn't want to miss a moment of that 200 and plus minute movie. Oh, man. I mean, like, okay, so, you know, I'm not gonna sit here and spoil it or whatever, but, you know, it's good. It's good, dude. It's fine. Great performances, yeah. Great cinematography, sure. Amazing storyline, yeah. But also, 4 hours, dude? But also, 4 hours? Dude, even if it's the greatest movie ever, the greatest action, comedy, romance, drama, everything you could ever want in a movie, I don't care. 4 hours? Too long, dude. Too long. It's like a solid 330, 340. So all of that, plus even if you show up late, dude, even if you miss half the previews, you're still clocking 4 hours. If you go see the movie at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, by the time you come out, the sun is setting, dude. Do you understand? Do you understand how it's like no matter what? Dude, even if it's the last John Wick was like 3 hours. That's too much. It's too much for any movie. No action is sustainable for that long. No comedy can keep you laughing that long. No drama. There's no excuse to make a movie that long, dude. Unless you're doing a two-parter or unless you're giving me a literal intermission. No, dude. And it's the same thing with like The Irishman. Too long, Martin Scorsese. Too long, dude. It's one of those, and then it's like, all right, well, it's on Netflix, so you can do it in like bite-sized pieces, but that also works against it, because it's like, hey, man, I'm in the mood for The Irishman now. I don't want to pause and hope I'll be in the mood 3 days later, and then I got to pick it up and be like, oh, let me rewind a little bit and then go forward. It's like, nah, dude, I like one setting, one viewing, absorb it all as one. Ah, man. Killers of the Flower Moon, killers of the relativity of time. And then, okay, so this is like a small spoiler, but just because it was so like, what? It was so, okay, it happens literally like in the last 5 minutes of the movie. The movie is done, and they do like this like radio show at the end to kind of wrap up the story, which is like very cool and like visually entertaining to watch and like fascinating the way they're doing all the sound effects, racking the chains and like clippity cloppity, making like sound horse noises. They're doing like a radio show, right? And out of the fucking blue, dude, out of nowhere. And keep in mind, this is also 3.5 hours of sitting there. So my body is just like, I am fried out and done, dude. I am so ready for this to be over. And 2 minutes from credits, dude, out of the blue, Jack White just pops on screen out of nowhere. Jack White in such a small little blink and you miss it moment, dude, where he's just like a voice actor. He's just like, they're just like, and then Leo DiCaprio spent his life on the farm. And then Jack White's like, hey there, brother, it's me, Leo DiCaprio. What's going on? And then that's it. That's it, dude. He just like jumps in for a second. And I'm literally like sitting there like, the fuck? Was that fucking Jack White? Was that fucking Jack White? What the where did that come from? Like, it's not like he's, a bad actor. It's not like he hasn't acted before. It's just so jarringly out of nowhere that you're just like so burnt from this movie. And then finally out of nowhere, you're just like, did I fall asleep and I'm like dreaming this? Is this like a weird hallucination because I'm so dehydrated that like I'm seeing random musicians in the show? Jack White, the fuck is going on? And then does Jack White only do like early 40s like period pieces or whatever? Because the only other thing I've ever seen him act as is when he was Elvis Presley in the Dewey Cox Story. Hey, come on, man. I'm right there, man. I'm right there. It's karate, man. Only two people in the world know him, man. That's one was the Chinese and the other one's me, baby. The king. Yeah, that was so out of nowhere, dude. Just like fucking Jack White. Killers, dude. Killers. It's like it's not a bad movie, dude. It's a good movie. It's just like insanely long. Too long, too furious. What else? But yeah, speaking of other stuff in the theater, been noticing a real dip in the scary stuff in the theater. You know where the good stuff is it's on TV. There's like nothing scary in theaters. They're on a real streak of bombers at the theaters. Exorcist came out. Terrible, dude. Exorcist, not good. Saw it. Also, not good. Didn't do it for me. The only X, as far as I'm concerned, is Jason X. There's only one, and it belongs to Jason, dude. Fast X, get the fuck out of here. Saw X, nah, try again, dude. It's Jason X for the win. Greatest horror comedy of all time, dude. Never laughed that hard in my life other than watching Jason X for the first time. But my goodness, are they lacking in the theaters? Man, that Exorcist movie was bad to the bone. And like not in a good way. Bad meaning the literal phrase bad, not the Michael Jackson bad. I'm talking just a bad movie, dude. But you know where the good stuff is that it's streaming, dude. The good stuff is either on the streaming or on cable. Chucky? Dude, I know I've brought it up before, but Chucky is where it's at. And if you're not on Chucky, you're missing out, dude. If you want the Halloween spirit, go to Chucky on USA Sci-Fi, Hulu, or the because that's where it's at, dude. It is insane in the best possible way. Hilarious. Fighting a sneeze. Got it. Hilarious. Also hyper violent, dude. It is the perfect mix of just like horror, comedy, crazy, insanity in the best possible way, dude. Chucky is killing it both figuratively and literally, dude. And you know what else is good on Netflix? Fall of the House of Usher, dude. Blew me away how good that show is. Not only is it good, dude. All right, so first of all, no idea what. When I just read the name House of Usher. Fall of the House of Usher. Instantly go to Usher, the recording artist. Usher, the famous musician. Fall of the House of Usher. I'm thinking like a docu-series, like a behind the scenes, like maybe his latest concert thing. One of those things where they follow him on tour. That's where my mind went. So when I'm looking at it, I'm like, wait a minute, what the hell is this? I will admit the first episode was kind of meh. The first episode, because it's not really like a horror. Like there are horror elements, but it's not really like hardcore scary. So I think that kind of threw me because I was expecting scary. So when you go in, it's kind of like slow burning, and it's like only a couple parts are scary. I was like, this is not scary at all. Totally wrote it off. Decided on watching like one more episode, I think because somebody told me that they really enjoyed it. So I was like, man, let's just take another peek at the next episode. Locked, stocked, and 2 smoking barrels, dude, all the way in. It grabbed me full on and was like, you love this show, dude. Heavy inspiration from Edgar Allan Poe. I'm talking The Raven. I'm talking Telltale Heart, dude. I'm talking all the greatest hits. Not only is it Edgar Allan Poe, but it's like Poe turned up to 10, dude. It's like maximum Poe. Maximum EAP, Edgar Allan Poe. It's good, dude. And there are performances in that show that are just like phenomenal, dude. And you know what else? Here, let me IMDb it up, because you know your boy loves IMDb. And if I'm watching any movie or show that I like even a little bit, you know I'm doing a deep dive on everything on IMDb. Trivia, previous work. Because, for example, Bruce Greenwood all up in there. Bruce Greenwood, he's like the main guy. He's like the main usher, head of the family. And the whole time I'm watching it, I'm like, why do I like this dude? Like, I definitely remember him from like the previous, like newer kind of Star Trek movies. And he's not even in it like a bunch. He's like a supporting kind of small role, but he is so good, dude. And I'm just like, man, that guy is awesome. Why do I like him so much other than Star Trek? And it's like, oh, he was in iRobot. Again, small role, but killer. He's always like kind of side character, background character, never really up front and center, but always really, really good. And then it hits, dude. I'm like, oh, talk about taking it to the next level of f***ing cool, dude. This motherfucker is Batman, dude. Did you know Bruce Greenwood is motherfucking Bruce Wayne, dude? Had no idea. And then as I'm watching it, I'm like, oh, yeah, no shit. The dude's got an amazing voice, dude. No wonder he's voice acting as motherfucking Batman, dude. Boom, Batman, Death in the Family, animated movie. Boom, Young Justice, dude. Which went for like 10 years, dude. It's like a 9-year show. And I haven't seen it, but I know that it's like mostly on the Young Justice, obviously. So it's not like Bruce Wayne or Batman is like a main character, but he's still motherfucking Batman, dude. And then this Batman Gotham by Gaslight movie, another animated one, but still blew my mind that he's fucking Batman, dude. I was like, yeah, of course he's Batman, dude. He's got an amazing voice. Oh, The Injustice again, the movie. Yeah, everything else he's kind of like just like side character, dude. But man, great. Under the Red Hood, Batman again. That's like what, the 5th Batman animated movie? Oh, he was the president. I forgot about that in National Treasure, dude. He's the president. Oh yeah, Deja Vu. Yeah, see, he's always like just a little role in it, but been working non-stop, dude. Dude does not stop working. He's got like multiple movies every year. Dude is a workhorse, and he's awesome, dude. Motherfucking Batman. But yeah, great performances from everybody. Bruce Greenwood killing it. But dude, you want to talk about jaw-dropping performances? You want to talk about being completely hypnotized? Dude, Carla Gugino. I really hope that's how you say her last name. Gugino. Hey, Carla Gugino, where's the Gabadoo? I don't know if she's Italian, but it is a insanely Italian-sounding name, Gugino. Carla Gugino, who you might recognize from her previous work in, well, the main thing that comes to mind for me is the Watchmen movie. She's like the young, I forget what her superhero name is, Jupiter? Miss Jupiter? Sally Jupiter. She's like the young and the old. Yeah, really great in Watchmen. But what's something else? Oh yeah, Gerald's Game, San Andreas. Okay, I do remember San Andreas. Come on, you know Carla Gugino. Did I just see? Who is she in Justice League? It says Ship. Is that the name of a character? Hey, what's up? I'm Ship. What the Ship? Yeah, nothing else. Who is she in Batman vs. Superman? Ship voice? Who is Ship? Man of Steel, she's Killor. Is that the girl? I don't remember her in Man of Steel. What the hell? Oh, dude. I know who she must have been, like the robot thing. She must have been like that AI thing that floats around. Whatever. Getting sidetracked with Carla Gugino. But you want to talk about amazing performances? You want to talk about being completely hypnotized, dude? So I'm going to try no spoilers on House of Usher. First of all, go watch House of Usher, dude. It's really good. I'm purposely saving the last episode until I'm a little bit closer to Halloween just to get that Halloween kind of feeling, that vibe. But there is a scene, she's basically like, I don't know, I still don't know because I haven't finished it. She's like a ghost. She's like a spirit. She's like a, I don't know, I'm not exactly sure. But she's like haunting these people. And there's a scene where they're at like an animal clinic full of chimpanzees. And she is like a chimpanzee. Does that make sense? But we see her as Carla Gugino, and she is giving this unbelievable monologue, dude. She is giving this unbelievable performance while she's not only giving this amazing speech, but as she's doing this monologue, she's like doing the mannerisms of like a chimpanzee, dude. It is unbelievable to watch, dude. I'm going to go back and watch it again just because my jaw was hanging open, because not only was she doing like these really impressive chimpanzee walk, but she's doing it as she's giving this insane Shakespearean Edgar Allan Poe intertwined monologue, dude. It's crazy. I was like, it took my breath away. It was so good. And she does that like every episode. Every episode she has this like amazing performance. Just everybody in the show is fantastic. And I'm telling you, like, there's not a lot of spookiness in the theater, but streaming is where it's at. And you want to talk about lack of spookiness in the theater, man, oh man. Have I got something to tell you guys? Went to the Monday Mystery Movie recently, where I'm sure I've talked about it before. I love going. It's interesting because they show you a movie that doesn't come out for a few weeks or maybe like a month. Don't tell you anything about it. They tell you what it's rated, and that's basically it. No description. You're just going in fresh. And I enjoy the mystery solving more than I enjoy seeing the movie most of the time, because most of the time, it's not a good movie. Most of the time, I think they do the Monday Mystery to boost ticket sales on a movie that would ordinarily by itself not do good. For example, the last one I saw was Freelance, the John Cena action romance comedy that had like weird, terrible CGI action. The flattest, dude, every joke landed so flat in that movie. It was honestly like baffling to watch because it's like, you've got these ingredients, dude. You've got motherfucking John Cena, who is like well established as like being a funny dude, who is like known to be able to handle comedy no problem. If anything, he excels. Have you heard of Peacemaker, dude? Even before Peacemaker, he was doing these little cameos in movies that were like unbelievably funny. So it's weird to watch John Cena just not be funny. It's like, dude, I know you're capable, and it just sucks that like the writing on this movie is so bad. But yeah, usually the Monday Mystery is like to help, I feel like, boost a movie that would normally do awful. And man, oh man, the last one, dude. First of all, it was a record setter for like the longest like holdout on the mystery, because you get other little clues too. Like it shows you the runtime. The runtime is usually like another good indicator. So I knew it was going to be rated R. I knew it was going to be like an hour and a half. So it's like, all right, narrowed down. I look ahead at what's coming out soon, and I try to like, all right, well, this has like a similar runtime. This is also rated R. All right, I think it'll probably be this. And then the last clue is when you're actually in the theater and you're watching the previews, because it's like if you're going to see a horror movie, you get horror previews. If you're going to see an action movie, you get like comedy action previews. Kids movie, kids previews, and so on and so forth. And so the movie starts, and this movie does, honestly, it might be one of the longest intros before the title sequence. There's only a handful of movies that do this. For some reason, Pacific Rim comes to mind. Has a huge opening sequence. Huge. They give you like a ton of exposition about like what's happening. The monsters came, they kept coming, we built robots, we fought monsters, and now I'm fighting them. Oh, it's a big battle. I kind of lose the battle. Robot crashes, and then finally, brr, like a solid 20 minutes, and then finally, brr, Pacific Rim. Same thing, I think the longest movie I have ever seen, and I think it is still the record holder to this day, is Babylon. Has anybody seen Babylon except for me, dude? It's excessive. I feel like is the perfect word for that movie. Excessive. Is it bad? No, not a bad movie. Is it good? It's not a good movie either. It's an excessive movie, dude. Where every part of that movie is stretched out longer than it should have ever been. There are so many scenes, even the scenes that are like really good, like this is really good, go on for like 20 minutes longer than they need to, dude. It's a really long movie, and it's like, dude, the beginning of that movie, it takes it's like 30 minutes before it finally says, Babylon. He's like walking to the party. He gets to the party. He's got to help Margot Robbie sneak into the party. And then they're in the party for a while. And then there's like a chick ODing. We got to get her out of the party. And then it's like dawn, and we're hanging out for a while still. And then it's going and going. And then finally it's like, oh, shit, yeah, I forgot. By the way, you're watching Babylon. And this movie had the same thing, dude. So it's like, keep in mind, it's part of the mystery. I'm sitting there like, what is this movie? What is this movie? It's starting out. It's all Christmassy. First thing that comes to mind, I'm like, oh, is this that Thanksgiving movie? Which that one I cannot wait for, dude, just because I know it's going to be, I don't know, because like my instinct wants to say like, oh yeah, this is going to be terrible. It's a movie called Thanksgiving about like a murderer. There will be no leftover. What a stupid tagline. But then on the other hand, it's like, well, if it's done in the right kind of stupid, silly way, maybe it'll work. But maybe it won't, the way this one did, dude. So it starts out very Christmassy, and I'm like, all right, well, maybe it's Thanksgiving. But then I'm like, no, it can't be Thanksgiving. This is all Christmas stuff. Like, that's after Thanksgiving. Unless this is like, a year before or something like that. So I'm like, all right, I don't think it's Thanksgiving. A little bit too Christmassy. I don't really recognize the main girl. And then motherfucking Justin Long comes walking in. I'm like, oh, what the fuck? Makes me even more mystery because I'm like, what the Justin Long? I know Justin Long. I mean, I don't know him. I know who he is. I'm a big fan. I'm so much of a fan that it would be on my radar. You know what I mean? Like, I usually notice when something Justin Long related pops up. I'm like, So to see him walk on screen, I'm like, oh, shit. How did I not know about whatever this is? And then it even adds even more to the mystery, dude, because it's like Justin Long is no indicator at all. The dude does comedies all the time. He does horror all the time. He was in motherfucking Die Hard, dude. He does action too. So it's like the dude's on every genre. Seeing Justin Long does not narrow it down at all. And then he's also doing like this he's like spray tan with like blue eyes. The blue eyes threw me off completely. And he's also got like this weird, I don't even know how to describe the accent. He's just like not Southern, like, I don't know, Joel Osteen kind of church dude, preacher kind of guy is what I got. Like, those really preachers that are like bajillionaires. Oh, yo, folks, come on. Hey, you folks, come on down. You have a good old. Nah, because I'm doing too Southern. Maybe like a New Hampshire, like more like a Northeastern kind of accent. I don't know. Regardless, it completely threw me off. So I'm sitting there, and then, like I said, it's got such a long sequence before it finally has the title. So it's like the record of me sitting there like, what the fuck is this movie, dude? What am I watching? And then people start getting murdered, dude. So I'm like, oh, this is like a horror? But then people are getting murdered in like ways that aren't scary. Like, it's also not gory. It's almost like comedic. So it's like, I still don't know what this is, dude. Am I watching a comedy? Am I watching a horror movie? And then finally, I understand, dude. And the dawn hits me. It's a wonderful knife. It's a wonderful knife. A Christmas pun in the title, dude, automatically set up for success, right? I mean, and then also brings to mind this weird trend that's like suddenly happening. Last year, or like the beginning of the year, it was Violent Night, right? With Stranger Things, dude. I can't ever think of his name for some reason. Violent Night, It's a wonderful knife, so stupid. And then later we got Silent Night, which is like that action Christmas movie, which I'm gonna see, dude. John Woo, I have to. It's gonna be so bad, but I have to, dude. John Woo, as long as he's got the doves, dude, that's all I care about. John Woo and those slow motion doves, and I'll be happy. But back to It's a Wonderful Knife, dude, so terrible. So it's basically a remake, reimagining of It's a Wonderful Life. That's Jimmy Stewart, right? He's like a banker or something. I think he's like a banker. It's been a while since I've seen it, and he's gonna end his life because he's like, ugh, I hate my life or something. And then like an angel's like, well, let me show you what would happen if you were never born. Totally do the Wayne's World. And then they show you what happens if you were never born. Oh, okay, well, same thing with this. She stops the killer, and then she's just like, a year later, she's like, well, why don't we ever talk about the murder? And everyone's like, hey, we don't want to talk about murder during Christmas. Is that so hard to understand? And she's just like, oh, we got to talk about the murder. And they're just like, lady, give it up. It's Christmas time. I don't want to think about death and murder during Christmas. And she's like, yeah, well, I wish I'd never been born then. Billity, billity, billity. So what would happen if she was never there to stop the killer and he just kept on killing? And that's the other thing, too. It takes away from... Because you find out immediately who the killer is, because she kills him 2 minutes into the movie, and then billity, he's out there killing, so it's like, I wonder who the killer is, Takes away the mystery, so it's like, and then also the killer himself is such a weird design, dude. They should have ran it by somebody, dude, because, okay... When he first jumps on the screen in his full killer outfit, he's supposed to be like a Christmas angel, I think. Not Chris Angel, mind freak. Like a Christmas angel, like you put on top of the tree, just all white on white. White robes with a white mask and white hood, white gloves. White on white, which also maybe not the best outfit for murder. You know what I mean? One tiny spray of blood spatter, and it's just like, geez, that whole outfit's ruined. But when he first jumps on screen, I was like, bro, is that fucking Moon Knight? Is this a Marvel crossover with Moon Knight murdering people? Because he looks exactly like Moon Knight. I was like, dude, who approved this look? It's not scary. It's just like a blank, nothing face. It's just like, I don't know, dude. This just isn't working. It's not quite funny enough to be like comedy. It's not scary enough to be like horror. There's no real action. It's just missing on all these marks. I mean, Justin Long, dude. I'm such a big fan of Justin Long. So seeing him pop on the screen, I'm like, oh, I'm in for a Christmas treat. Unbeknownst to me, no, it was a trick, dude. I got trick-or-treated. Not good, dude. It was the latest Monday mystery fail. Yeah, man, it was a bad one. Never have I seen that many walkouts in my life, dude. With the Monday mystery, I have noticed a slight increase in the most walkouts I've seen, but it's different, right? Different from a movie that you knew about, paid for, were expecting to see, and was like, man, this is just so bad, I'm out. I can understand when it, you go for the mystery, and then when it finally pops on, you're like, oh, yeah, I don't care about this, and you leave right away. That's different. Dude, this had walkouts all throughout the movie, dude. You had one or two at the beginning who were like, all right, I don't want to see this. I get it. But I'm talking fat groups of 5, a solid 45 minutes into the movie, just whoop, and we're done, dude. And you want to talk, that was the whole time, I'm just it's only an hour and a half. It's only an hour and a half, dude. How bad could it be? You want to know how bad it is? A movie is bad when an hour and a half runtime feels like basically Killers of the Flower Moon, dude. It felt like I was watching Killers of the Flower Moon, the director's cut, dude. An hour and a half somehow stretched to almost 4, dude. Not good. In case you were wondering, not good. But luckily, unfortunately for you, you've got another month, or I don't even know when it's going to come out. Definitely November, I would think. There's no way I saw it like 2 months early. That's way too crazy. But we can go ahead and wrap it and tap it right there. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for stopping by. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit the old like and subscribe, and be sure to listen. If you don't like this face, maybe you like this voice. So hit us up on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. I am your host, as always, Kyle McLemore, and we'll see you next time on the pod.